All right, welcome back. So today on the bench we have something kind of unique. Story behind this RC. This was my son's car, two-wheel drive Slash, and we were at the hobby store one day, and all my kids started out with a two-wheel drive Slash. And we were at the hobby store, and my son was asking for a 4x4 Slash, and I was like, well, we got this two-wheel drive Slash that's yours. You have a choice. You could build up your two-wheel drive Slash, or you can buy the new four-wheel drive Slash. VXL at the time. It was, I believe, a Fox Edition Slash. And, you know, all kids, when you're at the store and you see something new, what do they want to do? They want the latest and greatest, the new RC. And I was like, look, we can take your two-wheel drive Slash and build it. It'll be a fun little project. He's like, no, I want the four-wheel drive Slash. I was like, okay, well, you have a choice. We can either build up your two-wheel drive Slash, or you can buy the brand new Slash and give me your two-wheel drive Slash so I can do a build on it. Well, you see what he chose. He chose the new four-wheel drive Slash VXL. I think at the time we also got him a Fox Edition body with the Slash, and he immediately came home, opened it up, started running it. Well, I went ahead, ordered up a bunch of parts for this thing, and started building it. I can tell you, when I was done building this thing, he was very disappointed that he bought the four-wheel drive Slash. He really loved the way that this thing came out, and was like, well, you didn't tell me you were going to do all this to it. And I was like, well, it's not me, it's you. It's you deciding what you want to do with your RC car. Just showing you there's a lot of other options out there. Build it yourself, make it unique, or buy something new off the shelf. Me personally, trying to teach the kids that building your own stuff, making something unique, is definitely way better than buying something off the shelf ready to run to go run it. Shortly after, his 4x4 Slash was slow, so we put electronics in it, and he continued to run it. I believe he still has it to this day. Hence, Alumabeast. Let me crack the lid. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This Kyosho wing on the back of it that I mounted up. Custom wing mount. Everything on this thing is custom. D-Boost hoons on it. Now, this thing was built back in 2016. I want to say the wheels were added in 2020 because I soon realized with the two-wheel drive Slash, and this is when I was doing the Rustler speed runs, when I went ahead and built this thing. There was a big debate back then, aluminum versus plastic. I always said, if you're going to bash it, aluminum's the way to go. Or, I mean, if you're going to bash it, plastic's the way to go. Aluminum tends to bend. But if you're going to build something for on-road, something to play with in the street, parking lot, that kind of stuff, aluminum is a great alternative because it's very precise when it comes to handling. As long as you're not running into stuff, you know, it's very precise, handles really well. It's great for that. But if you're gonna bash it, run it, jump it, that kind of stuff, put it in the dirt, for me, aluminum's not that way. Now, if you're gonna do, say, sand dunes, aluminum works fine for that as well. But for me, on-road, the aluminum with the two-wheel drive Slash really changes the whole platform. Let me get this lid off, show you what I'm working with. All this stuff, so it's basically two pins in the front. Hold this body, slips up underneath the wing to latch in. This was my quick release back in the day. I want to say this was built in 2016. So, here we go. So here is Alumabeast. Now, a couple unique things about Alumabeast. Chassis was one kit. The control arms and all that was another kit. Front and rear bumpers were purchased separate. They're not part of the kit. All in all, I want to say about $500 into a rolling chassis onto this thing. Custom body mount in the front, carbon fiber with the metal post. Really works really good. The kit does come with these shocks. Really cool setup. One thing that I did do that I love that you don't see many of them. Ryan Cavallari at the time was one of the top racers. Savox happened to get a sponsorship for Ryan Cavallari. They sponsored a lot of his race stuff, especially the Savox servo. This is a signature edition Savox servo, Ryan Cavallari. You can't get these anymore. They were a limited production made by Savox. And I'll put a picture of that in now. Integi made all these aluminum parts for this thing. So I went ahead and stuck in my favorite Mamba X ESC, 6S ESC into this thing. Of course, censored system, Castle. It's a 1406 Castle motor, censored, hot racing fan, custom Proline transmission with the Integi case, I believe. Yeah, aluminum case, but I went ahead and ran the Proline internals, I believe, into this transmission. Steel drive axles. Integi spur. And then Robinson Racing pinion. 84 tooth on the spur. So you can see all the custom build stuff that you have to do on this chassis. Foam front bumper, Integi aluminum arms, like everything you can buy for this thing. Hot racing servo horn. I think the only factory piece is this piece here. Also, and then of course the rear adjustable upper links, and then the steering toe links. So all the links are basically off the, slash. They are the adjustable version, not the solid version. So the VXL slash on all the links. So on and off switch for the Castle. There is not one piece on this that's not custom made, other than the links. They are the adjustable links. But it's just one of those things that you can truly build, and this thing is so smooth. The rolling resistance of this thing is non-existent, basically. And went ahead and put on the on-road tires, the deep boots from Hoons from Arma, because it topped off the RC. This thing was built back in 2016, it's been this way ever since. As you can tell, never bashed it. It was basically built to make a point that if you put your mind to it, you can build anything, and definitely building an RC is cooler than buying an RC. Went ahead and did the custom Proline bug body. Now I heated up and left the sides long. This is all stuff that's supposed to be trimmed off, but I went ahead and added a little flare with this thing to make it the on-road style. A lot of paint on the inside of this thing. You ever seen me paint? I use multiple colors to get the blue to really pop like this and get the metal flake into the black. And then of course all the different decals. Really a unique way of doing a body, especially leaving it long like this and cutting the flare. And all it does is slip into the back and right onto the pins. So this was my version of the quick release back in 2016. This thing is totally awesome. So two pins hold down the front. The back can't come off because it slips up underneath the wing. I've done this several times on like speed builds, that kind of stuff. Custom RC is definitely the way to do something. And then later on, I did have an orange body for this for a little while, and then this blue body as well. So Kyosho wing really works on this RC. So we get down, take a look at this motor combo. So you can really see with the rear mounted transmission, this is the Futaba radio. Of course I stuck it on a Futaba. The heat sinks on this Integi transmission is really cool. It's just everything about it. All custom bearings. I mean, there's a lot to building something like this. So I want to say into this RC, when I originally built it, I was right around $1,000. Just that servo at the time, the Ryan Cavalieri servo, I think they were $199. Some were selling it for $159. I remember when I bought it, it was $199 because I wanted something really quick because I knew that this was going to be an on-road build. Same thing with the 17mm hexes. It was a conversion that I did to this thing. Those are all Traxxas. And it's a really unique setup. I think the chassis kit on this thing was like 150 bucks. And then you got to buy the control arm kit, which was like another 200 bucks. And then front and rear bumpers. And then $300 electronic system, $250 I think plus tax, and then hot racing or yaw racing fan. I used a lot of these yaw racing fans back then because they don't take a lot of power to run. They keep everything cool. And then I'd buy the heat sink separate and screw the yaw racing fan onto it. Really keeps everything cool, even though this one doesn't need a lot of cooling because I am running the 84 tooth spur. Spur is also sold separately. Transmission is sold separately. So basically they wanted you to use your stock two-wheel drive slash to do this conversion, but then you end up with a lot of plastic pieces on here. And they are pins with C-clips on all the control arms. And then everywhere else has been Loctited and bolted together. Went ahead and hope you enjoyed those clips of this thing running. I want to say I ran this back in 2021 or 2 was the last time I ran it. And like I said, it is on the Futaba. As you see, I enjoyed my Rustler and my slash builds back then. You know, trying to get 100 miles an hour out of Rustler was crazy. And I was thinking maybe I could do a two-wheel drive build with a two-wheel drive slash, which I went all aluminum. But when I was done with this thing, I'm like, man, if I crash this thing, it's gonna pretty much total it. So, but I like the weight to this because it adds weight to the slash, which really makes it turn and handle really well. That's why I went with the Ryan Cavalieri steering servo on this thing. And it's a great RC. So we're gonna go ahead and sell this thing for $400 if somebody's interested. It's a hell of a deal. Takes a lot to build something like this. Rustler is still up for sale as well. As you can see, I'm on a two-wheel drive kick right now. That's gonna be going. is this Hobao. Now this is a roller. There's no electronics in it other than a Savox steering servo. As you can tell, I run Savox a lot, but this is a complete roller. I want to say this was their EPX. Setup. This I purchased. I did have Castle electronics in it. I went ahead and pulled it out. This is belt drive. So there's 2 belts on this thing. And then I put a Traxxas receiver box on top of the servo mount, which is all mounted down. Motor hangs off right here. ESC I glued down right next to it. And then the receiver box, which is here. And then all I have going into it right now is the Savox steering servo. This, I'm going to let this go for $150 because it is a roller. Slips in the front. And then right down onto the pins in the rear. Went ahead and put some race tires on it. This is definitely a good local race on-road deal. These EPXs from Hobao, the build quality is just amazing. As you can see, no real scratches on the chassis. This was for a Gap Review and True Boy RC build off is what I built this for. I think this thing took number 2 in the build off, and there we go. So this is going to go for $150 as a roller. I think these were $300 kits at the time, and then the Savox servo, $100 into that servo. So $400 into this thing plus tires, $450 you could say, for 150 bucks, and put your own electronics into it. It's definitely a cool 1/10 scale RC, especially for on-road use. Unique build, Castle Electronics, you can't beat it. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Definitely a cool couple of builds, and the 120-mile-an-hour Rustler is still available. But Alumabeast, what an animal this RC is. There you go. Good luck. Alumabeast. A lot of history in that thing. I never even built that thing on the channel. There's a full build on the channel, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. Gap Reviews, True Boys RC. It was something we did during COVID. The only Hobao I own is that EPX. Pretty cool RC. Quality of Hobao's really amazing. Thanks for watching.